Hi guys, it's Aoife from Words of Clover and I'm here to do my kind of winter/December TBR of sorts. These are just a few books that I have on my shelves and on my Kindle that I do hope to get to around this time of year because they are kind of seasonal reads. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them are definitely seasonal reads and kind of to do around winter time and Christmas. So I'd really love to be able to get them read in December or in early January. So the first book I wanted to talk about was The Snow Song by Gardner. This is a book I have through NetGalley on audiobook, and I don't know too much about this book because I think even the blurb on Goodreads is a little bit vague, which is kind of nice because I think sometimes blurbs tell too much. So it's nice to have one that doesn't quite tell enough but keeps your interest piqued. This is kind of a modern feminist fairy tale, I think, and it is set in a village that is apparently run by men and is very patriarchal. And we are following a character who is in love with someone but is also, I think, being forced into an arranged marriage with someone else who she doesn't love. And all I kind of know from the blurb is that the snow comes and I think the village is maybe snowed in or has some sort of trouble with the snow, and this main character, she loses her voice, and there's repercussions around this that end up kind of echoing on the village and everyone around the character's life. And that is all I kind of know, but it was kind of Christmassy enough, wintry enough, that is something that I wanted to read, and I do want to try and get more NetGalley audiobooks as well because I've really enjoyed the ones that I've had so far. So I did pick this one up for this season. Another book I have on NetGalley is Together by Christmas by Katherine Swan. I've read 2 Katherine Swans in the last couple of years, each at Christmas and each set around Christmas as well, which I've really enjoyed. And the thing I like about Katherine Swan is she seems to be kind of like trying to write books that are set in like different corners of the world and in different countries, and I really enjoy that. And it just kind of gives something different to the book, and like as well as having a story, you're kind of traveling somewhere new and kind of almost experiencing Christmas and winter season somewhere new as well, which is really nice. There was a book I read by her 2 years ago which was set in Norway, and I think the book I read last year was set in Ireland, which was really nice. So this one is set in Amsterdam. This one should be fun to read, and as far as I know about this one is we're following a character who has kind of, I think she ran away to Amsterdam, and she was running away from something, and now it's a few years later. She's a single mom working in the city, and she ends up finding this book with like some cryptic message in it, and she ends up trying to find the kind of the owner of this book, or the owner of the message, whoever wrote this message, and she goes on this journey to try and find this person. And while she's doing that, and while she's, I think, getting to know whoever this person is, who I presume is a male somebody and probably a romantic love interest, her past kind of comes catching up at her, and all these secrets are kind of in danger of unraveling and maybe kind of either ruining her life or changing her life in some way. I've always enjoyed Katherine Swan's kind of stories and how they're paced, and like the different struggles the characters have to go through, and they're predictable in kind of a nice way as well. You kind of always know that you're going to get a nice ending. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into this one and read it soon. Another book on NetGalley sounds really fun and definitely perfect for this time of year because it is called The 12 Dates of Christmas and is by Bayliss. This sounds like something that would be just like obviously a perfect book, but also like a perfect TV movie or something set around Christmas, and I'm sure there's something similar somewhere out there. But this is basically about a girl who is I think in her home village. She has obviously a terrible romantic life, and her friend basically ends up setting her up with this dating agency who set her up on all these dates, and they're kind of disastrous and funny and absolutely crazy. And I think all the village kind of maybe joins in on like setting her up on these dates or like having fun with them or something. And I presume in the middle of this there's probably Mr. Perfect somewhere. This one just sounds like really fun and one that I can probably fly through during the busyness of Christmas. I love books like this that are just cozy and lovely and just perfect to read. A non-fiction book on my TBR as well is 50 Words for Snow by Campbell. I don't really know too much about this one, except it is literally just a non-fiction book about snow and about all the different words for snow from like different countries and different cultures, and it just might sound like it might be nice and magical and Christmassy and wintry, and it might be interesting. It could be like really boring and it could literally just be about words, or it could be like there could be stories in there. I'm not really sure, but I'm excited to kind of read it and find out more about it. A recent book I got on my Kindle is Love Notes in Reindeer Falls by Beth Labonte. This is because I read another book by this author called Maple Sugar Crush just last week, which was set around Thanksgiving, and I really like kind of the style of writing and the characters. The way the town was set up was just really sweet. It was this perfect sweet contemporary book, and I just really liked the style of writing, as I said, so I decided to pick up one of Beth's Christmas books, which is this one, and it is set in a town called Reindeer Falls, which is just so cute. And we are following a character who has basically come back to the town after a long time away, And she goes back to the town to try and help her brother, I think, who was struggling, and then she's kind of confronted with this boy who used to love her and who I think proclaimed his love for her before she left. So she has this kind of weird romantic situation that she's trying to deal with. And then during this, and I presume during her time at Christmas in her hometown, she's kind of trying to make the decision of whether she wants to stay here forever or if she wants to go back to the city and make her life there, and where her life is going to lead her. So it just sounds cute and fun and sweet, and as I said with her other book, I really enjoyed that. It was a short read, I think it's around about 200 pages. I'm not sure about this one, but I say it's around the same. So it's definitely one that you could just read really quickly during the Christmas season and give you all those nice Christmassy feels. One that isn't particularly Christmassy but is wintry is Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. This was on my 5-star book predictions at the very start of the year, and I still haven't read it. That video in February, and I was kind of waiting for the colder wintry months to read this book, and I think I'm really going to try and read it this winter. The only thing is I know absolutely nothing about this book except it is set in, like, I think this forest, it is set in the snow, it is set during winter. I think it might have some sort of magic or magical realism in it, and I think it is inspired by Russian folklore. I think that's all I kind of know about it, and the reason I don't know much about it is because I know I really want to read it, but I don't want to know anything about it before going into it. So anytime I see anyone talk about this book in a video, I always skip forward because I don't want to know anything. So yeah, I just kind of want to go in and for it to be a surprise and to either delight me or not, I don't know. So yeah, we will see if I get to it. I hope I will. And 2 recent books I have, both I have in physical. I want to try and read this season. Again, they're not particularly wintry or Christmassy, but they're ones I feel like might have a nice kind of atmosphere and feeling that might be good for the Christmas season. One is Nevermoor, The Trials of Moroccan Crow. This is by Jessica Townsend. This was a birthday gift from Victoria over what Victoria read, and this one is just fun, and I think it is just a middle grade book. This is about a little girl, I think, who finds out that she has the potential for magic powers, and it is kind of likened to Harry Potter in a way, just in terms of that it is about a child and to do with magic. And there's just something about this that sounds like it could be a nice book to read like by the Christmas tree or around family, like during the Christmas season, like the busyness of Christmas. And yeah, I just really want to kind of dive into this at some point while the Christmas tree is up, and maybe it'll kind of become a nice kind of Christmassy read and reread for me. I hope so, because I really hope I'm going to like this, because everyone seems to love this book, so I'm very excited to read it. Then another book that I think will just be a lovely book to read by the Christmas tree is Dear Reader, The Comfort and Joy of Books by Cathy Rentzenbrink. This is a book I received from Book Break in exchange for an honest review, and I still haven't picked it up. I got it a couple of months ago and I do really need to pick it up, but it definitely, there's something about this book, like the colours as well, the greens and the golds. It's like, I think it would go really well by a Christmas tree, and again, it's something I think that will just be really comforting and lovely to read. Emma did read this book in From Drinking by Myself. She read this book in a video she did a while ago, and she really enjoyed it, so I'm hoping I will love it just as much. So those are all the books I have at the moment on my winter TBR. I'm sure there'll be so many more kind of Christmas contemporary books that I just can't help but pick up if they come through, especially on like Kindle deals and stuff. I can't resist them sometimes because I just love those sweet short reads that are just fun and cozy and lovely for Christmas. You know, if you guys have any books you're planning to read for Christmas, if you have any books like this that you think I would like to read, I would love to know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!